up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yet up in the jungle, coking the bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tore the underworld, popping the minter. Landed the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck a Febreze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Wave on 4/4, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Sanctuary of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning flooded the bright lane. The hunger was biting, biting.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, y'all. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Red Opals. The name of that song is Red Opals. You can find that on any streaming platform that you are subscribed to. The only place that you can't find it, it is on SoundCloud and Napster. You can't find it there. You can find it everywhere else. And you can't find it at the bootleggers. So go ahead and stream that Red Opals by Red Pillar. All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode. Yes, you are now rocking with the best. This is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pill, reporting live and direct. Welcome to Third Eye Thursdays, episode 178. I think I'm gonna either call this the Great Fall Part 4 or the Red Summer 23, because the planet is on fire right now. It's undeniable beyond any reasonable doubt that this is a red summer. You know what I mean? This is the red summer of all red summers, because according to the record keepers, they had a consecutive 4 days of heat that broke all records since they've been keeping time or keeping records. And, it's been a short amount of time that they've been keeping records because, mankind, they just got here. But nonetheless, according to their records, this shit is boiling. The temperature is rising. The temperature is rising. Yeah, Siri stock. Yeah, Apple was going crazy. Louisiana in the building. All right. Peace to Louisiana in the building. You like that track, Kofunya? Appreciate that. Vermont. All right. The farm survived the flood. That's right. And everywhere around the world right now, water, right? A lot of places are underwater. Okay. That theme, that water theme that we've been pointing out is very, very, very dominant these last few days and whatnot. A lot of water. And not just water, a lot of deluge, a lot of sewage is coming above water, or above ground for that matter. A lot of stuff that necessarily, like when there's a flood, the sewage also comes above, and that soils the water, right? I'm beginning to see that, in society everywhere that I turn. We're beginning to see what was once hidden, the underbelly, the undergirdings, or the undercurrent, or the septic tank, right? A lot of toxicity and things that necessarily are taboo, right, are beginning to come to the surface. I saw a video with a beautiful, beautiful child, toddler, Can't be no more than 3 years old. You know, a young girl, little melanated baby singing Pound Town. You know, and I think they feel like it's a nursery rhyme. Can't hold the children at fault because the songs sound like nursery rhymes. So she just singing Pound Town. She want a coochie stretch and all kind of stuff, you know? And I'm just saying to myself, yeah, this is where we at right here. You feel me? This is where we at in the Kali Yuga, where the sewage is, it's like people are not, they're normalizing the smell or the stench to where it's going to be normalized so whereas you could function, you know, around sewage and around filth, you know? People, our people are like chameleons, and people's power is that they can adapt. So they'll get used to that shit. If they accept it, they'll get used to it. You feel me? You feel me? So, shout out to Hawaii in the building. Peace to Hawaii. Aloha. Belize in the building. Cincinnati in the building. Vegas in the building. Akron, Ohio in the building. Minneapolis in the building. Stone Mountain in the building. Pittsburgh in the building. East Flatbush in the building. All right. Love from the DMV. Salute. Cleveland, Ohio. I see you. Lil Justin in the building. All right. Weapon informed against who is me. Yeah, the next is bestiality. It is a slope. It's a slope. I've been around long enough, and I'm not old like that, but I've been around long enough. And for the times that I wasn't around, I was very inquisitive. I asked a lot of questions to elders. You know, I asked a lot of questions. I was extremely inquisitive, especially to my pops. And I want to know what I don't know. And what I do know is as we progress, we degress, you know? And according to my studies and whatnot, that's just the way it is. This is the Kali Yuga. I've been prepared to witness what I'm seeing. And nobody is acting like, we holier than thou. No, hell no. But we can make observations even from a place where we're at in our imperfection. But we definitely can make observations because of where we're at in our imperfections, because you got to be in the mud to know that this shit is really dirty. You know what I mean? You got to be in it to be of it and to know what it's about. So being in it before, I know what I'm seeing, and I know even like with the case with the sister that went missing and whatnot, and it wound up being a hoax. That's highly unfortunate. Highly unfortunate because out of all of the cases that happen on a daily basis, her case just happened to garner national attention. And you know how our people are with our ego, and we don't want nobody to embarrass us in front of company or guests, and that would be in front of the world. So that girl went and embarrassed us in front of the world. And the next time somebody says that they need help, they're going to treat it like the proverbial boy that cried wolf. Okay. The boy that cried wolf. So it's unfortunate. Miami in the building. Philly in the building. What's popping, Philly? VA in the building. Virginia's for lovers. You know what I'm talking about? St. Louis, all right, tapping in. Y'all gonna have to answer for Sexy Red. You know what I'm talking about now. Sexy Roja. Sexy Roja. Rome in the building, all right? Santa Rosa in the building. Amster Veg. We don't say Amsterdam. No, no, not. No, no, no. We say Amsterdam. We don't say Birmingham. We say Birmingham Veg. My bad. The Inland Empire. Everybody's in the building. You know what I'm talking about? We deep up in this thing. Salute to everybody pulling up and whatnot. Shout out to all of y'all. Man, this strong in on Sunday. I know y'all seen Blue with his Dragon Ball Z jewelry and whatnot. He been stunting and whatnot. So this Sunday I went to the bonfire and I hit a lick. You know what I mean? I ran into his jeweler and I scored. You know what I'm saying? I got a few of these pieces. And to me, this, because keep in mind, I'm an 80s baby. You know what I mean? I'm a 70s baby. I didn't grow up playing. I'm not part of the Dragon Ball Z universe like that. You know what I mean? I'm part of the Voltron. I had this conversation on my social media today where I had to remind the youngins and, you know, people who came to the party a little bit later that the 80s cartoons, bar none, and this is, once again, this is not me being on some shit. I'm just putting proper context of what's going on into the minds of my people so we can have a, you know, because perception is everything. You got to have a proper programming of the history that you did not participate in, because if you participated in it, then you would understand my vantage point. Because it's not even my bias, to be honest with you, it's my vantage point. Because I was there for both. I was there. It's not like I missed the Dragon Ball Z era. I was there for that. But guess what? There's an era that precedes that blows that clearly out of the water, bar none. We talking about the 80s. Remember, these cartoons had toy lines attached to it. The toy lines in and of itself, right, shuts everything down. There was no toy line that could compete with G.I. Joe, what the Transformers was putting out. You understand? The G.I. Joe collection, the Transformers collection, the He-Man collection, and the top collection of all toy collections ever made is the Voltron robots. Stop playing with me. You can't name anything coming out of the 90s from that cartoon era that could compare to just that run right there. Y'all can't fuck with the G.I. Joe toy collection. I'm sorry. Here I go sounding like the male version of a Barbie, but this is our, you know, and that's how I understand why this movie that's coming out is going to make more than 100 million. Barbie is going to break records. Watch when I tell you. The programming is too fucking real, and I already, you know what I mean? I read the reviews to the moon. They got, whatchamacallit, I didn't even know that was the Becky. They went and took Homegirl from Harley Quinn and made a Barbie, bro. It's over. They made Harley Quinn Barbie, bro. And that shit look like a whole, and you know women is about there's a whole generation of soft living, Bridgington. I'm escaping into my fantasy. I'm going to Paris to have a picnic and whatnot, and I'm wearing Alexander McQueen type women that they're cosplaying a lot of their childhood, and Barbie is the foundation. She's the progenitor to bad good girls going bad. Everything that you seeing right now, even plugged into the feminism shit, that's all Barbie right there. That's the archetype. Like G.I. Joe is the archetype for the shooters. And every gangster rapper that we know, as we enter into this 50 years of hip hop, I want y'all to really do your due diligence and dig deep into the crates and whatnot, so you could and come to the realization that the nicest rappers are either artists, like cartoon artists, they know how to draw, or they was completely nerded out in the realm of imagination through cartoons, comic books, and toys. And you hear it all in their rhymes, especially the 80s rappers and the early 90s rappers. I haven't heard so many cartoon references other when I went back and listened to Wu-Tang. Oh man, Method Man, that's all he used to do is cartoon references. Uh, you know, the sayings that people were familiar with from the cartoons, you know, swinging through your town like your neighborhood spider, man. You know what I mean? Like they will always reference our childhood. And we listening to niggas talking about slinging crack and jumping out of MPVs and dirty, grimy shit, but they slipping in all of these hooks and things of that nature because we're part of a niche. And when you talk our language, it's like a dog whistle. We be like, huh, somebody, you know what I mean? Like people from our generation, when we hear certain things said in a certain sequence, it automatically captures our attention because we just program like that. You feel me? Yeah, Wu-Tang for the children. That should have your Doberman pincher ear start standing up like, "Her." You said Wu-Tang love the kids. You be like, her. The niggas from the 90s, right? Wu-Tang is Johnny Blaze. I mean, Method Man is Johnny Blaze. I know people that couldn't read, but they read comic books, right? I know people who they couldn't afford video games, so they had multiple personalities and whatnot. They couldn't afford toys, so they play with their multiple personalities and shit like that. And until they could get their hands on comic books and toys and video games, and then they just immerse themselves into these fantasy worlds. And this fantasy world that has encapsulated the minds of both my generation, my son's generation, and even my father's generation, it's only getting more advanced, right? It's not losing its appeal. It's getting more advanced. You feel me? It's stepping it up. The children or the appeal of it is still very, very strong. Do you know that the gaming industry, do you know how big of a behemoth the gaming industry is compared to all of the other industry? It's the biggest industry out of all of the industries in the world in entertainment. Okay? So let me share something real quick. Spider-Verse is crazy. Oh, you watched it off of that 3.5? Blessings. Blessings. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Gaming industry dominates as the highest grossing entertainment industry. The video game industry has been growing at an astonishing rate in recent years. It's no secret that it's a lucrative business, but you might be surprised to learn just how much money the gaming industry is making in comparison to other entertainment industries. According to recent data, the gaming industry is now making more money than the music and movie industries combined. Okay. According to a report by Super Data Research, the global gaming market was valued at 159 billion in 2020. This includes revenue from console games, PC games, mobile games, and esports. To put that in perspective, the music industry was valued at 19 billion in 2020, while the movie industry was valued at 41 billion. That means the gaming industry is making more than 3 times as much money as the music industry and almost 4 times as much money as the music industry, as the movie industry. My bad. So where should we put our attention to moving forward? Where was some of us who are visionaries who know where the real bag is at? You know what I mean? Where the real lick is at? Where do you think we should be putting our attention moving forward? You're absolutely correct. Exactly. You know what I mean? We hitting up the games, bro. We're going into this realm of gaming. Gaming is the future. Gaming is the future. Nothing is gonna stop that. You feel me? So if we knew better, we would do better, right? So me and Blue Pill, God is good, and they've been opening up doors for us, you know, um, by being obedient, you know what I mean? Things work out. So another door opened up for us.
Hey, yo, we got it going on.
Here, let me start from the beginning. Keep it on the low though. Don't blow it up.
We got it going on. I'm hit or right or my wrong. Yo, we got it going on. For the culture. Yeah. Hey, yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah. We hit or right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my fuse. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God. I'm teaching that same.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We in the metaverse. Metaverse loading. You know what I mean? Metaverse loading. I can't talk too much about what we have going on and whatnot, but metaverse loading, bro. Just know that you know what I mean? Just know that this shit is about to go crazy. You know, the world is shifting into the virtual, spatial, and augmented reality. Hollywood is falling. The opportunity for us to tell our stories and to compete with the studios it's in our hands now. Your network is your net worth, because the people that you have around you is going to determine the amount of value that you're going to be able to capture moving forward. Because, you know, if your network is filled with writers, right, and visionaries and talented people, right, if you have a pool of talent, and you have leading women and leading men, right, and you have custom designers and you have set designers, if you have those components, my genius, you're in a win-win situation. And if you're in places like Black Hollywood, Atlanta, or if you're in LA and you're able to unionize, that's why I'm like, I'm cool. You know, the whole thing with the union strike and everything with the actors and the writers, I support that. I would never support anybody crossing the line, and they deserve to get their coins and things of that nature. But like Blue brought up in the last show that we did, when are they going to step up their writing? When are they going to start giving, our story some type of light with all of this technology that's out? Our story has still not come to light. We still don't have the Moorish epic. We still don't have the story or the biography on Noble Drew Ali. We still don't have the movie on Taharka, the comedic Pharaoh. We don't have these stories, and we were promised these stories. We don't have the Marcus. We don't got the Garvey story. We don't know Garvey's story. Our people don't know Garvey's glorious story. You feel me? But we know about the drug dealers, and we know about the killers, and we know about the serial killers and the murderers and the people that hack people up. We know about the scammers and shit like that from Nigeria. We know about all of the people who were running plays on a Swiss bank. We know about all the scammers, you know what I mean? But we don't know about the martyrs. We don't know about the scholars. We don't know about royalty. We don't know about those amongst us that are superhuman. The Simeon Tokos and whatnot. These are stories that deserve a Hollywood treatment. So if they're not going to bring that to the table, then they're going to be they're going to be disrupted like everything else that's being disrupted by. It's not just AI and it's not just technology. It's a part of this great reset. The board is being everything. The guard, they changing the guard. The chessboard is being shaken up. The pieces are being reshuffled before your very own eyes. The power is going to eventually fall into somebody's hands. And if it's not your hands, then oh well. You had the opportunity though. There's nobody in front of anybody that's on this call tonight. Nobody is in front of no one that's on this call tonight. Everybody has the opportunity and the head start to do whatever the hell you want to do in this reality that we all exist in right now. That we all, and I'm talking to myself as well. We all have the opportunity to mold this shit into any version of whatever you want right now. That's how moldable that it is. And I'm not just saying that shit to hear myself saying it either. I'm dead ass. We could revisit this in 5 years and tell me how this conversation has aged. When I play videos from 10 years ago, I'm not doing that to brag and boast. I'm just doing that to show, look, I've been saying shit, but nobody be listening. You understand? I don't say things just to say it. But people obviously they listen, I don't know what they be listening. I don't know what they want to hear. But everything that they want to hear is being said. Earlier today, I was going through my page and I passed through a video. Let's revisit it real quick. Just to show that this is not a bandwagon that your brother is on when I'm talking technology and when I'm talking about the evolution of this world that we in and whatnot. Let's just show, right? What does that say? 13 years ago, right? 13 years ago. We in Harlem. This video is timestamped by the background because there was no time other in Harlem that you had a background like this. But when Michael Jackson died, this is the Michael Jackson backdrop, and they tore it down and they basically put Red Lobster or something over there. I mean, something got built over here. I think it was the Blick store, but you know, it's timestamped. You know what I'm saying? So here's the conversation that I was having with a good brother on YouTube back in those days.
Ledge TV, we here with the guard. You dig what I'm saying? You got the floor. Brother Red Pill, Know the Ledge TV, we here with the guard. You dig what I'm saying? We was just building and we were talking about the revolution will not be televised, it will be digitized. Okay. That's the statement of the whole century right there. You dig what I'm saying? And what I'm sharing with the guard is that we must begin taking over the social networks until we can finally see it and realize, or one of us comes forth and says, I could build that. You feel me? Not only can I build that, I could build that times 10. You feel me? And in that way, we could create a whole new network. And then this is where the riches become. This is where the riches start. This is where we buy shares in our own
advertising dollars and all of that.
Yes, that's when we buy shares in our own MySpace, our own YouTube. This is where the real money is getting made at. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that, yeah, we took over Facebook. Yeah, we got a strong presence on MySpace. Yeah, we all over Twitter, but we ain't really like the crusades to take that shit over. Ain't really happened. I'm proposing that every person in the community that's playing a part upload some consciousness on there at least every 15 minutes. When you're in front of the computer,
Change the color of the light.
Got to. You know what I mean? It's the Elijah theory. You don't condemn the dirty glass of water. You put the clean glass of water next to the dirty glass of water. There are people that are on these sites that had no knowledge before, just came on there to get boxed. Niggas was trying to shorties was on there trying to find like, you know, like shopping tips and, you know what I mean? You know, Coach bag websites and I don't know, whatever. But they got on there and they start bumping into shit that they never knew existed. You know what I mean? And it's taking them through portals. You know what I'm saying? And the ride is bumpy. I'm here to let you know. I went through years and years. Niggas that know me will let you know. I went through years of transformation. It's transformed me. I fought it. It beat me up. I beat it up. Vice versa, we wrestle. But the shit is a transforming energy. And it's like putting a caterpillar into the cocoon to turn into a butterfly. Butterflies don't fly with caterpillars. Butterflies don't fuck with caterpillars no more. That's why a lot of niggas don't see me no more. You feel me? Eagles don't fly with pigeons. They shit on their heads. So when they
Yeah, we're gonna leave that right there. But yeah, that was yeah, that was the cloth back then. You know what I'm talking about? That was the cloth back then. I'm not regurgitating what somebody that I heard online saying. I'm not stealing nobody bars. This is all original thought. I'm living in my conversation, bro. So everything that I see going on from EYL, what they doing and everything, this financial movement that be going on, to the fact that you got geniuses in the community building out shit and all of that shit was predicted already. Fuck you talking about? Fuck you mean? All that shit to all of these rappers trying to sound like us, trying to sound like they woke and whatnot, or they conscious and whatnot. We started those we aware of what we started, bro. We aware of what we started. And when I say we, I'm talking about it was a few of us. It wasn't a lot of us. It was not a lot of us. It did not take a lot of us. And if it was just a few of us that made something that has blossomed into what this shit has turned into, where there's hundreds of teachers now and all of these movements, and people is doing what they need to do. They doing what they want to do. That's on them, right? If we could do that, then we could do anything. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, this is 2023. I told somebody this the other day. This is similar to 2020. 2020, it was so much going on in 2020. It was so lit that when it was over, you look back and was like, damn, I wish I was able to do more in 2020 to take advantage when these windows had opened up and when all that money was pouring in and when all that opportunity was presenting itself and when all of those, you was getting invited to all kind of shit, right? And then 21 came and you was stressing. 22 came, 21 Savage. Remember 21 Savage? We was calling it 21 Savage. And then 2022 came and they was chasing you down with needles, trying to jab you. People was getting packed up. They was treating you like King Vaughn, packing you up and sending you to PC and whatnot. Your grandma, your go-go, and your papa, and then was like, you can't live in this house. They was packing you up. You got to pack up. Go to the front of the gate and play gay and pack up. We're going to talk about that in a minute, right? That's what they was doing to people. So you didn't even have you didn't even have a chance to reflect. You didn't have a chance to flex. You didn't have a chance to rest. 2023 though is similar in the frequency of 2020 because there's so many windows that have opened up. Opportunity. The shit is bussing. You understand? It's bussing. They throwing around trillions of dollars, billions of dollars. But you got to be in the rooms where they throwing it at. I came into this community 6 months ago and I threw the AI play on the table and I walked off. It's not for everybody. It's like when somebody goes and they buy a whole bunch of food for everybody and they just put it in the room and leave and whatnot. I let you niggas eat, right? I came in on Rich Channel. I came in on Know the Ledge way before anything popped off. And I was like, yo, get on this AI shit ASAP. You niggas is smart, right? What could that have did for anybody moving 6 months forward? You niggas could have been one of these Peckerwoods closing in on $1 billion funding. Every day I open up my newsletters and whatnot. There's some company getting funded for billions of dollars, not millions, billions. People are selling their apps for millions. People are making windfalls of money. It's so quiet outside because everybody is getting bread right now online, fucking around with AI or some of the opportunities and the tools that come with that. Whether it's the by way of day trading, forex, because they got the bots that got niggas getting money with that too. They're killing it right now. The people that was sitting around in the bear market, like Chicago Crypto Bully and whatnot. Shout out to the God. I got a special announcement about him too, and Ra Aku in a few minutes. The brother was consistent and he was helping people buy up all of this crypto while it was at zero, while bottom goodwill prices. The shit was at goodwill prices. And he was helping people buy digital real estate and crypto and all kind of shit, all kind of digital assets. Now the money is going, the bear market, the bull market is coming. right? Bitcoin already doubled already from 16 to 31. XRP won their case. Like shit is turning around. So 2023 is like 2020 just in terms of all of the shit that's going on in 1 year. In the course of 6 months, the whole world changed, bro, before my very own eyes. I don't know what y'all been looking at, but based off of what I'm looking at, I'm sure all of my Patreon followers, y'all been seeing all of the information that I dump on that page every day. So you could see the shift that's going on. But there's a moment it was a moment that was surreal and it almost froze time. And then it subsequently sped up time. So we're in what they call a post-nihilistic era. You know what I'm saying? We're in a post-exist I love this word. Existential crisis. I'm gonna master that. I always get tongue tied on that. But yeah, this shit is very interesting. This world that we're in right now, it's a lot of stuff going down. It's a lot of things that need to be decoded, right? There's a lot of shit happening on a daily basis. Okay. Existential. Wait. There you go. Existential. Okay. So there's an existential crisis, right? There's an existential crisis. There's a post existential crisis going on, not amongst niggas in the hood more than likely, right? But more so in Western society, in white America, right? Because you got to keep in mind that this whole shit is built on Western philosophy. In this lecture coming up next Tuesday, I'm going to take a deep dive. I am going to take a deep dive into Western psychology and break down how this nihilistic versus existential psychology of the Western man, as well as absurdism. Okay, as well as absurdism. I'm going to show you how all of that is hip hop, right? How Western philosophy, by way of the social engineers at the record labels, because keep in mind, when they're signing somebody to a label, that person has to fit into a certain type of archetype that not just the label is looking at. Western culture, or what they call pop culture, because hip hop is pop culture. So whoever they're putting out there and whatnot, they have to fit into a certain westernized criteria of what Western culture is. If they don't fit into that box, they're not going to get signed or they're not going to get pushed. If they blow up, that shit, then that's when they become what is known as the anomaly. That's what will make them the Messiah. That's what makes them the messianic ones. That they will blow up. They will garner the attention of the people without the machine behind them. When the machine is not behind them, then they like, oh, this is some organic shit. This nigga got that Bob Marley gene. He got that Tupac Shakur type of thing. You know what I'm talking about? You know? And we have a special announcement as well. I don't want to forget it. Matter of fact, this is a commercial time. Let the sponsors take over real quick. Because we got some things coming up. We have a special treat for y'all, especially those of y'all that want to be on your late night shit. Because I'm into that. Let's do the late night. You know, I'm all for that. You know what I mean? We have an after show tonight, okay, featuring the God, the young God, Source God. You know, I'm talking about Source God will be in the building tonight, and he's gonna be previewing the album called Magic. by Nasir Jones, the good brother Nasir. All right. Nas is dropping an album tonight, you know what I'm saying, in celebration of that good hip hop 50. And we're gonna do that shit live. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be here. We're gonna have a watch party, a listen party right there and whatnot. So we could you know what I mean? So we could capture that in a moment, because that's a moment in hip hop for us. You know what I mean? We grew up, all of we big Nas fans. We respect the God and whatnot. You dig? So that will be at midnight on this channel at midnight. So as soon as this show is over, we'll be starting that show with the good brother Source God. So pull up. Make sure y'all in the building for that. Especially my West Coasters. You know what I mean? That shit is early where y'all at. So definitely be there when this show is over. Pull up for the show with Source God. So we listen to some new Nas. All right. I'm looking for this flyer. I'm looking for the flyer. It's acting up. All right. Before we get into that, if you in Atlanta tomorrow, mañana, all right, tomorrow, mañana, at the 2945 Burdette Road. 2945 Burdette Road. We're going to have live performances by America Sutton and Love is the Medicine Tri Band. Brother Red Pill, I will be hosting it. And I'm going to be doing the Red Opals. I'm definitely going to do that. We got Source God. He's going to be performing. And this is tomorrow. Pull up. It's gonna be lit. I'll also have a little bit of merch out there as well. All right, 2945 Burdette Road. That's in South Fulton, Georgia. That's where the mayor had got locked up. The mayor from South Georgia. Well, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna be nosy as a mug. I'm gonna be asking questions like, "Yo, what happened with the mayor, bro?" Because I met him before, and he's cool. He's young and he hip. He know what's going on. He know, you know. So I want to talk to that brother, see what happened, if the stories is true. You dig? So let's jump into something real quick, man. I made a little slide, in preparation. This once again is in preparation for Tuesday's class. I promise you, I really need y'all to be in the building, because I've been in study mode, but I've been doing some real deep diving. I've been doing some real deep research, and I just know that I know what I'm bringing to the table. So I can imagine what Blue is going to bring to the table. I know Blue be going crazy and whatnot. So I just want you to I want y'all to benefit off of the research, because there's a lot of shit going on right now. And if you've been following the American God series, then I definitely need you to pull up, because this will be a continuation of all of the buildup that we've been building on and whatnot. So this is Dog Days Decoded. It's on July the 25th, 777, only on KTLUniversity.com. And that'll be on Zoom. It's been a long time since we did these Zoom lectures. So we like, yo, let's bring this back on 777. Let's do the Twin Pillars tag team, you know what I mean? And just talk about a lot of shit that's going down and whatnot. So I had brought up on a few occasions that, the energy in Atlanta is beginning to dissipate, right? And what I mean by dissipate, what I mean is perception is reality. So when I remember moving out here, there was a perception of what Atlanta was like and what the way of life in Atlanta was. And the way of life in Atlanta when I first got out here in 21 was a very fast life that was filled with crime. And there was a lot of shootings. It was a lot of robberies. It was a dark energy out here. Okay. It was one of those energies that you could get your shit pushed back, just haphazardly. You know what I mean? It was a chaos energy, right? So a chaos energy is such that you could go somewhere and even be minding your business and not looking for trouble, and the trouble could find you, right? Or you could be going somewhere to enjoy yourself, but there's some type of vagrant activity in your vicinity. So somebody's breaking in your car, trying to rob you, all of that bum shit. That was permeating in the city. So when we went on Stone Mountain and we did our ritual, right, and the anniversary for the last Stone Mountain one that we did on 9/11 is coming up. I got up there and I put out the energy that I wanted to challenge the I wanted to challenge the frequency, and I wanted it to shift. I wanted to shift the paradigm, and I wanted to change the frequency, the vibratory frequency of the whole city of Atlanta, and thus have it reverberate around all of the world, right? Not just America, but the world. In particular, I was aiming at the hearts and the minds of the youth, because I realized that they were the ones in trouble, right? So I was like, yo, I'm aiming at the hearts and the minds of the youth. We need to stop this. We need to break this spell that these rappers got on them. And we need them niggas to wake up to their greatness, right? Keep in mind, there wasn't no AI out back then. There was only Allen Iverson and Google DeepMind. There wasn't no Chat GPT. There wasn't no Midjourney. None of the things that we have right now was around. There wasn't no tools that you could take over the fantasy complex industry. None of those things existed, right? It was a dark time in Atlanta. Young Thug was free at that time. They was slatting and doing whatever they, skirting. The Hellcats was outside. The SRTs was riding. 42 Doug was out. All these niggas was outside, right? And I was like, yeah, something gonna change, because something has to shift, because it's gonna take a lot to dig through this. And then boom, it just started shifting. And here we are now, to whereas the image, because image is everything, thirst is nothing, right? Don't they tell us that with Sprite? And perception is reality. So the perception of what Atlanta meant in the hearts and the minds of the impressionable ones who did not grow up in the Atlanta culture, or they're just only encapsulated by what they see online and was being fed through them through the machine and whatnot, about not just Atlanta, because when I say Atlanta, I'm talking about street life. I'm talking about criminology. I'm talking about crime. You understand? I'm talking about subculture. I'm talking about drugs, sex, murder, gangs, prostitution, stripping, addiction. You feel me? Sex trafficking. I'm talking about shit like that. Robbery, burglaries, carjacking, cutting people up, homicide, suicides, overdose. You feel me? Like, all of that comes with it. It's all a part of the same frequency, the same egregor. It's part of the same long tail. Okay? It's a frequency that's indicative of polyester. You understand? Pushing P, but that shit was polyester. That's what that is. The Trap Museum that T.I. Clifford talks about is a roach motel and a bear trap. That's the only trap that these niggas is in right now. The sunken place. In an escape room where there's no goddamn out. That's how low they going. That's how low our people are sinking and whatnot. And they got our people in a pig pen, and niggas is blissfully in their ignorance. Like how a pig would be in a pig pen, just squealing and spinning around in the mud and whatnot. They're so comforted in the septic tank. Like when a baby poop in a diaper and they're like, you know what? It's just warm in here. I'm gonna get used to the warmth, not realizing you stinking up the whole room. So for your warmth, right? For your tushy being warm, just for your warmth, you would go ahead and fuck with everybody's surroundings. You would jeopardize everybody's peace, right? Just for your satisfaction. And that's what you see in Atlanta street culture. This shit is not sexy, and it's not something that I would advise anybody to want to emulate. However, the emulation gods is making it hard for you niggas to dick ride, because they're showing you all of the flaws that these niggas have on a daily basis. You understand? it was hard to see the flaws in 2016, 17, 18, 19, and things of that nature when the lights, when the ice was shining on around these niggas' necks and off of their mouths and off of their ears and whatnot. They had you in the realm of, wanting to be like them, right? They had you want to be vicariously living you wanted to be like Thugger. You wanted to be like Jeffrey. You wanted to be like Rollo. Some of you niggas wanted to be like Little Wop. I don't know who this nigga is, but goddamn. But they got you out here wanting to emulate degenerates or degeneracy, right? So Rollo, I fucks with Rollo. Rollo is a respectable, he's a Muslim, he outside. And he put a tweet out there about one of Gucci Man's artists who basically is transitioning, right? So he said, I know everybody got their little flaws and desires, but I don't give a fuck what drug I do or get laced with. My soul won't ever let me do no shit like that. Women are too beautiful to be faked, you know? So this nigga right here is transitioning into a whole woman, he a rapper, right? But he's just he he he's just one. He's the rapper part. He'll be the archetype, right? To show what this is doing to a whole lot of men around the world, right? This is nihilism right here. You understand? This is what nihilism is going to get you. You understand? This is nihilism in the flesh. Okay? The facade that these rappers had is beginning to wane. Okay? I'm just here to let you know. I'm going to show you more during the lecture on Tuesday. But Little Baby had to cancel a few of his tour dates. Dirk had to cancel a few of his tour dates. He's saying that he was sick and whatnot. He's utilizing the health scare to basically say, yeah, I can't fulfill these dates because people are not coming out. The picture the Little Baby has with them white men hugging him in a sandwich and whatnot, it destroyed his credibility. Okay, his whole career is built on the fact that he's a stepper. His whole career is built on the fact that he's a struggler. His whole career is built on the fact that he don't fuck with no funny guy business and whatnot. He's solid 10 toes down. That's what his thing is built on. The same way with Meek Mill. Meek Mill, he's the new Meek Mills right now. He's the new Meek Mills. When Meek Mill was bunny hopping and when Meek Mill was showing that he was in the room and he wasn't the coolest nigga in the room when he was around billionaires, people immediately lost the respect for him because that's not gangster. That's not how gangsters move. And y'all and these rappers are portraying that they are supposed to be these type of gangsters, or this is how they move, or this is what they do. They big steppers. The only time that they believe Baby when he's with the scary ones. They believe Baby when he's in trouble. They believe Baby when they hear about him stepping on or spanking or killing something. So now the facade is wearing off. Now they're saying that these dudes have flaws and they're not who they say that they are. And they really just some kids from the hood that want to be around rich white men because they want to emulate them. They don't want to take the Kanye route and call it out and whatnot. They don't want to listen to the warnings of a Kanye West. They want to defy Kanye and they want to go and give a lap dance to the billionaires because, like I said in a few shows before, that's their way out. The music ain't the way out right now. They chasing a beat. They trying to be like Jay. That's their way out. So earlier this week, a video has surfaced, and in my humble opinion, what I'm seeing right now is straight COINTELPRO 2.0. It's the same thing that the feds did when they were going up against the Black Power people back in the 60s and 70s. Because keep in mind, it's the feds that are doing the majority of the investigations and the prosecutions of rappers right now. So the same apparatus that you got the COINTELPRO was the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That same apparatus is still here. So COINTELPRO 2.0 is what you're seeing with the feds versus the rappers, with these Ricos and with the dirty shit that they're doing, like leaking jail videos. Okay. That's the feds doing that. Okay. The feds is out here leaking niggas their snitch videos, they're leaking the jail videos, and a video leak where King Vaughn was basically trying to check out. He was inside of a mod, a pod, right? Like a jail, a cell block, right? Like I'll just tell you how it works, right? When you get booked and they send you upstairs, let's say you get arrested and you go through processing and they book you, they fingerprint you, then they take your clothes, they give you a jumpsuit, they give you a blanket, they give you a toothpaste, maybe a sandwich and whatnot, and then they'll give you a bed. Most people, when they get locked up, first thing they want to do is go to sleep or take a shower and just find out where they're gonna be at, because you got to realize, especially if you're a person like this dude right here, you got drama everywhere that you go because of the shit that you're doing that's in the streets. You out there killing people, robbing people, you got ops and whatnot, and ain't no guns behind the wall. So before you go to sleep, you got to make sure whatever house that they're going to check you into, that house don't have your ops in there. And the minute you walk in there, if you see any one of your enemies and whatnot, the first thing that you are supposed to do, it's an unwritten rule, but the first thing that you are supposed to do, regardless if the captain is walking you in, Bishop Desmond Tutu is walking you into the house, if the goddamn whoever, it don't matter, you supposed to pop off and basically get it on right there, so you don't have to get put in that house. You understand? Because you're gonna die if you allow them niggas to check you in to a cell block, or to a mod, or to a tier, or to a module, right? And then you got ops in there and whatnot, and they scheming on you, and you behind the wall, you don't got no blicky, you probably don't got no knife and whatnot. Oh yeah, they gonna finish you. So you might as well get jumped right at the door. Don't even set up, don't put your bag down, don't do none of that. Go right in there and just pop off and get packed up. What did this guy do? He went there, he said, I can't live in the house. Check me into PC. I'm gay. Right? And on Rikers Island, you could play gay on Rikers Island back in the days, and they will put you in PC, right? Where you just be with the gumps. That's what they call them, the gumps. So you be in there with the gumps, you be in there with the trannies, and you be in there with the rapists and whatnot, because they put them all together. But that's basically you tapping out. You can't, after that, you can't pop out, going to lunch and whatnot. You going to lunch with all of the gay dudes and shit like that. So PC is protective custody. You're basically hiding. And the way that gangsters move, because I'm not a gangster, right? I mean, I don't subscribe to that. But I was born around all that. I was, what I'm saying? That's my whole life. You feel me? So I know what that's about. So you don't play no punk. You don't play like you a punk. The only time there is no time that you play punk, bro. So I can't respect nothing that what I saw. And it goes back to what I said about the facade. It goes back to what I say about the perception. It goes back to what I say about these niggas heroes. I'm speaking to y'all tonight, but I'm really talking to y'all about your 15-year-old, 16-year-old, your 17-year-old, your 12-year-olds, your 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old heroes. I'm giving you this cloth so hopefully you can have conversations with them and connect with them on with some talking points, because these are their heroes and whatnot. They try to say that this man was like Tupac. You know, he's a demon, and these babies is on demon time, spanking shit. They want to catch bodies and whatnot. That's their badge of honor. That's their rites of passage. They got to catch bodies like King Vaughn. I think they said he had 10. This is the generation going back to what I was saying. That's why going back and people in Bible, they be like, why is this important, Red Pill? You know, did you know that Beetlejuice was about to blow up? I get it. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. No problem. But once again, I'm attempting to help you understand this newer generation that we got to deal with, right? This newer generation that we got to deal with. I call them the Y2K Osiris generation. They were born in the year 2000 and on. Okay. They 23 right now. Them niggas is 23, right? And 22 and 21 and 20 and 19 and 18. I'm trying at my best to help you see the world that they see and what they looking at and what their programming is and why they're heartless and why they don't give a fuck. You feel me? And why they're desensitized. They grew up, right? This man right here, it's not really King Vaughn, and well, yeah, King Vaughn in particular, right? The Twitter generation. Many of us don't really relate because we don't come from Black Twitter and whatnot. We was cooking in places like MySpace and Facebook, and then we jumped on Blog Talk and YouTube. We kind of skipped through Twitter. But there was the youthful, it was the youth, right? The young gods growing up, catching the war in Chirac in 2012 when these little kids was 12 and 11 and 10. And they got to witness throughout 10 years moving forward up into 2023, right? An online war that was more dangerous than the wars that's going on behind in the jails and whatnot. It's more dangerous than the wars that's going on in in Iraq and Afghanistan, because niggas was killing people. They was killing the Taliban, but the Taliban don't rap. The Taliban don't got videos on YouTube, nigga. You feel me? The dudes in Chicago, these was babies killing each other, and they rap and they had videos, and they were viral videos, and these children had careers waiting for them. You understand? Lil Jojo had talent. He had star quality. You understand? That shit hurt his city when they knocked him off. He was what? How old was Lil Jojo? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the Zach TV era, the War in Chirac era, 2012. These kids was 12 years old. And when these Chirac niggas, when the Chirac demons, when the drillers was killing niggas, they was posting it. Right? He was 19. They was posting it on Twitter. It was a whole open air. The adults wasn't really hip to what was going on. Yeah, little JoJo was unique. They didn't kill no regular kid, nigga. Them niggas clipped a star. They clipped a star. You know what I mean? And then it's the same time in 2012 that you get Trayvon Martin. A huge psyop. The psyop that's so huge, you have no idea. Once again, another topic that we're going to cover on Tuesday. All right? The Trayvon Martin factor. Huge psyop. It's no coincidence that him at the same time that we was going crazy about the Trayvon thing. Oh, these babies is innocent. Oh, hands up, don't shoot. Oh, Trayvon, he wasn't asking for no problems. Oh, you gotta, my baby this, my baby that. But the same time, these shirtless niggas in Chicago shaking their dreads in this little nigga's living room did a video called Don't Like that went viral. Fredo in the cut, that's a sight that you don't like. These little niggas with their shirts off, right, with bird chest and whatnot, swinging their dreads in a crowded ass Airbnb or a project living room in Chicago. These were some fucking killers. Okay, they was the age of Trayvon and maybe even younger, right? Because they knocked Lil JoJo off, and JoJo was 19. Trayvon was the same age. So we talking about his generation right there. So on one end, we and niggas know that it's not like they killers and nobody knew. Duh. Everybody knew that they was killers. We knew who caught what body, when, how many bodies this nigga had, how many. We knew the score. So how the hell you gonna justify? I'm into Chief Keef and these little niggas spanking shit at 11 and 12 years old, and you niggas is telling me to go and protest and talk about hands up, don't shoot, and Skittles and fucking an iced teas, nigga, and we not spinning the block, nigga. Are you fucking dumb? Are you serious? That's where cognitive dissonance sets in. That's why you niggas is so retarded right now. Not you in particular. But that's cognitive. That creates schizophrenia. That creates schizophrenia. You niggas are retarded the way that you think and move. So on one end, you're telling the whole world, because remember, this was a global fucking move with drill coming out of Chicago. The Chief Keef was a phenomenon when that shit hit. So you're telling the world we raising the babies to spank shit. We killing shit. We not just rapping about it. We really bodying shit. Nigga, Chief Keef already clapped at the police like Tupac did at 16. Then got house arrest and was still rapping about spanking and stepping on niggas. You understand? So that was Grand Theft Auto before Grand Theft Auto, right? These children were raised on real murder. You understand? Not how we were raised. We were raised up with these mixtape rappers, but they wasn't stepping on nothing. The biggest shit that blew up was was when Meech murked the nigga Wolf. That's what blew him up. But it wasn't people running around spanking rappers back to back, backdooring their best friends, killing their friends in the car on some YM Melly shit. Niggas wasn't doing no craziness like that. Are you dumb? So this new generation is different. But a lot of their heroes, bro, are being exposed for zeros. A lot of the people that they swore by that on this, they swearing on their names and stuff like that. Here's another Chirac demon and whatnot who got exposed. And like I said, this is I think I'm gonna label this maybe the Great Fall. Cause this shit is a fallen culture. If you follow this, you a goofy and you deserve everything coming to you. Facts. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you still following this shit, if this shit still got a grip on your brain, where you trying to live vicariously like these goofies and whatnot, you deserve what's coming to you because something is coming to you. Okay? That's a fact. Something coming to you. So this is another nigga acting like he a tough guy and whatnot, always with an ice grill and whatnot. Those are the ones you gotta be careful. I told somebody before, it is a thin line between hypermasculinity and that other side, bro. It is a thin fucking line between hypermasculinity and that punk life. A very thin line. And that line, you see that line blur behind the wall and whatnot. It's a very thin line. That's why all that tough guy shit and rap and whatnot, that's really masked aggression, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of niggas with that need to heal. But that shit lead to punk activity. That's not divine masculine. All that fake Casanova gorilla shit, that's not divine masculine. All that fake ice grilling and you mean mugging and nah, nigga, that's dysfunctional. That's something going on with the gut. So my dude Fabulous had to step up and say something, right? And he said, I love hearing the female rappers talk some real shit. Women are so strong, have so many stories and perspectives that we need to hear in pure form. No disrespect to any female rappers out, but I think there's only one style of female rap slash hip hop being promoted, programmed, and looked at as successful now. So, they try to come for the boy, you know what I'm saying? They try to eat his food, you know. But you gotta expect that when you pop out like that, they gonna eat your food. They're gonna get at you. They're gonna dig up all your dirt. They're gonna shame you off the internet. You feel me? And they're gonna make you feel like you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Okay. So he said, where the 4th of July barbecue at? This generation don't want to do nothing but twerk, smoke hookah, scam, be on Instagram, have ops, shoot people, go viral, take drugs, fuck someone else, man or girl, and talk about people. What happened to the good vibes? Right? Now, on the other hand, I could say that if they grew up listening to your mixtapes, Fab, then yeah, that's maybe the shit that they grew up wanting to do. You feel me? There's a lot of rappers these days pointing fingers. Ice-T, you know what I mean? Fab. A lot of these motherfuckers who planted the seeds and whatnot, and now they get their teeth done, and they forget about their contribution. They forget about their contribution because on the dance floor and on the stage, you have the freshmen and they're fucking rough up. They're rough behind the edges. They're not polished like some of these rappers who already done sold their soul and got the juice squeezed out of them and whatnot. And then they become part of this elite club. It's almost like grown vampires. And then here comes the new blood or the new jacks. You feel me? Here comes the new jacks, and then they point the fingers at them and be like, yeah, these niggas is ratchet and out of control. Nigga, you programmed them. The fuck? You not no conscious rapper, Fabulous? You not no backpack rapper, nigga? Do you ever seen a girl trying to emulate a man or a boy? You know, like how when girls trying to emulate hood niggas and they grab their crotch and they, you know what I'm saying, they have their mannerisms and whatnot. Yeah, you see a lot of that going on with some of these rappers now because they're just emulating boys. They're emulating y'all and your toxic masculinity or your divine toxic masculinity for that matter. Let me clean it up. You can't necessarily blame these youth. So they brought Sexy Red to perform at a high school. And the first thing that this hood rat did is she fucking flipped the bird to the kids. You feel me? So what I was saying earlier is that if you see the motifs of what's going on in society right now, the deluge, right? The everything that was once underneath is beginning to surface. From the fact that mermaids are washing up, you got old ships and whatnot. You got old ships that were sunken. They're resurfacing. There was an island in Japan that resurfaced. A lot of things that are hidden, right, are beginning to come to the surface, right? A lot of things that were hidden are beginning to come to the surface, right? Society, and most importantly, Western society, because this is built on nihilism, right? Because this is built on man searching for their existence and whatnot, and yet admitting that they have found no existence. Western man, their struggle is to find their existence in the universe. Okay. And then they drift into nihilism and whatnot. Nihilism is sort of an anarchist way of seeing life and living life and being about, fuck it, I'm just living YOLO, right? the YOLO life, the fuck it life. You understand? So we're gonna point out what the men are doing, right? Because look, this is what nihilism looks like, right? In the culture, right? When we adapted the mind state, or when these labels begin to push a certain, it's not just a narrative, it's an archetype, right? When these labels get behind these archetypes, and they push these archetypes because these archetypes fall right into line with what Western philosophy pushes and mandates and promotes. These are all anti-heroes, right? These are all nihilistic heroes. Okay. These are all men on a hero's journey. These Europeans, it's almost like they're watching Shakespeare or theater and whatnot. They're not just into the music, they're into these storylines. Okay. So let's just go over the history of Western philosophy. You got ancient Greek philosophy, right? Which is Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, right? Then you got the Roman Empire, Stoicism. Then you got medieval philosophies. And then you got Thomas Aquinas with natural law. That's through the Jesuits and whatnot by way of the Inquisition, right? Then you have the Renaissance, humanism, intellectualism, universal man. Then you have the Enlightenment philosophy, empirism, rationalism, and the scientific method. Then you have 19th century philosophy, existentialism, Nietzsche, and nihilism. Then you have transcendentalism and manifest destiny. And then the 20th century philosophy, existentialism to absurdism, right? So Sexy Red is absurdism, nigga. Sexy Red is absurdism. Sukiyani is absurdism. Okay. And this is what they promote at these labels. So when they're signing these artists and these archetypes have to fit. When they make these movies and they create these stars and they make these scripts and whatnot, they all fall underneath all of Western philosophy mandates. Please understand that when you go into these corporations, so it could save you the fucking headache of getting raped and getting pillaged and getting spun in circles and treated like you just any regular nigga who could write a story that they could think about. That's not how this shit works. It is a science behind this. Okay? It's a skill set. It's a formula that they use. And I'm just sharing with you what these formulas are. But it's heavily steeped in Western philosophy. So this what they teach. This what you pay all of this. This what the fuck that they won't give you they won't forgive your loans for learning about shit like this. So you might as well apply it. Because I know that they taught all of the people who are college trained all about the history of Western philosophy. You have to get Romanized. You have to get you have to be part of the egregor of what is Western philosophy. So you get the download inside the colleges and in the high schools and whatnot. And don't be in no private or prep schools and whatnot. They're gonna give you all of this westernized mind state. Okay. So the advent of postmodernism, you get to study all of their intellects, which would be their master teachers. It's almost akin to when we open up KTL University and we have you study the writings of Phil Valentine. We have you study the writings of Bobby Hemmett. We have you study the writings of Dr. Bennett, Dr. Clark, and whatnot. You become, indoctrinated into our dogma, into our philosophy, and the curriculum that we put together. That is exactly what's happening when you go inside of Ivy League colleges and you going inside of these institutions and whatnot. They're indoctrinating you into their master teachers, and you're helping their philosophies and their quote unquote ideation and whatnot and their concepts come to life because you have the Godhead. You know what I'm talking about? It's the reality is being created by you. By you. So, like I said, I'm not going over this tonight, all night. But God damn it, I got bars for y'all. I need y'all to come and be on. I'm not begging nobody for nothing either. Like I said, whoever's meant to be there on Tuesday, y'all are gonna be there. You know what it is. I'm not even gonna sell this shit because it needs to sell. It's selling itself. You know what I mean? The culture in its 50th year, it has to be examined. from a perspective that people are not looking at it from. I'm not coming and looking at hip hop and giving you the same old diagnosis or the same old rhetoric that everybody else is saying. They don't even know how to tie certain things in. I could take the low hanging fruit, Illuminati, they evil, Illuminati. Oh, you see the rings and everything, Illuminati? No, man. It's time to step this information up and have a higher level conversation. So when we speak to other people, or when we speak to people at a higher pay grade, or when we speak to people who are college educated, or we speak to people who are outside of our culture, we can have an intelligent conversation about our culture from a perspective that they probably never seen it from, because everything is about perception. Life is about perception. And the way that they perceive us around the world, or the way that we're being perceived right now, it's not in the most healthiest light. It's not in the most healthiest light. They need somebody such as myself, Blue Pill and others, to decode this shit and break it down and give it some fucking meaning and whatnot. Because other than that, this shit is pathetic. It's pathetic. You feel me? The shit is pathetic. Why the fuck are they pushing her to the front? Sexy Red is in her own league and she knows it. The St. Louis rapper is quickly becoming the hottest thing in hip hop, all while just being herself. Ski you. Sexy Red has pushed back against some of the flack she's been receiving for what some critics have called an inappropriate performance at a high school. The Pound Town rapper recently made an appearance at a small high school gymnasium in an effort to do some charity work, but many of her eager teenage fans were too excited to stay seated and could be seen on video abandoning the benches and descending on a St. Louis native. Right? So there's never been a time, right? So her mixtape is the Hood Hottest Princess, Pound Town. I'm sure y'all heard it. And if you haven't heard it before, it's a nursery rhyme. And the babies know it if you don't. I'm gonna just leave it at that, right? And what it is it's 2023 version of WAP, right? It is of no coincidence that the world is on fire, that this is a red summer where the heat is at, that the oven is on and whatnot, and there's two suns cooking, and it's on fire. And the focus is on the genitalia. The focus is on things that are focused on in the summertime, right? That's what the focus is on. Okay? I don't remember a time where the focus on pornography was so much on the front page, right? It's the same thing that was going down in 2020. They had us focusing on sex. They had us focusing on our red chakra. They had us stuck in our root chakra. This thing with Jason, with Adam 22's wife, Lena the Plug, the shit with Pound Town, with Sukiana, with Mariah Mills and Zion. Listen to the names. Mariah, nigga, Mount Moriah and Holy Mount Zion, right? It's funny. And now it's been flipped in this quote unquote Kali Yuga that we're in, or in this quote unquote this bizarro dystopia slash utopia, right? Now Mariah and Zion is a fucking porn star and a basketball player, right? Look how they flipped that. So we live in some interesting times, and things are pushing to the surface, like I said, and it's the focus is on sex heavy. You understand? And it takes two to tangle. So because people is like, oh, the women and Pound Town and WAP is about men and women smashing, bro. They talking about Adam smashing, his belly smacking and whatnot. But yeah, people say that it's vulgar and everything, but the focusness once again is on heavy sex. this year, while it's hot, right? While it's hot, they still have us focused on fucking, right? It's the same thing from 2020. They was protesting George Floyd, who happened to be an adult star. You probably didn't go and watch the video, but people did. All you got to do is mention a name. They got Google now. The shit is free online. So when they mention Mariah Mills' name, all the children go and look it. When they say Jason, whatever the dude did was pipe down Adam 22's wife, they're going to watch that, right? When they say Lena the Plug, they're going to watch that. When they say Sukiyani got a porn tape, they're going to watch that on Twitter for free. You understand? So now what was hidden is now brought to the surface. You understand? What was once taboo is now being normalized. That is nihilism. You understand? That's the next phase of nihilism. So everything that's going down is going according to plan. Not your plans, maybe it's not your plans. You didn't plan this shit. You don't even know what the fuck nihilism is. You're not running the show. You're not planning this shit. You're not electing certain people to get on the stage for, to push a narrative, to push a philosophy. You're not signing people to your label for millions of dollars to be the face and the image of something that you are going to stand behind, right? They don't give a fuck about what they rapping about. They just have to fit the criteria and the mold of a nihilistic people. So he's coming with an album called Utopia. And Utopia would also be, it's signaling the nihilistic hero's homecoming, right? He's the nihilistic hero. He's on a hero's journey. The shit that happened in Houston is part of his journey in the world of iconography, or in the world of myth making, or in the world of lionizing a person to make them bigger than life. This is only part of his story. He was able to succeed. He climbed that hurdle. It has nothing to do with what I think. It's nothing personal. I'm just giving you the quote unquote mentality behind the whole thing. He didn't go to jail. He had to lay low. I'm gonna show you a video where I predicted the whole thing in the last American Gods, which is on Patreon for all of my Patreons. Rainbow Opal and all the way up. From Rainbow Opal all the way up to Citrine, you have access to American Gods, the last one that we did with Alkebalon and Blue Pill. So you get to see all of the shit that we laid out, right? And how on point we was. This was 21 Savage. This was in 21. How on we did it at the end of 21. How on point we were leading up to where we are right now in 23. And then me and Blue was gonna pick it up and set you up, for the next one, right? But they tried to come and cancel my boy. Okay. So it's what they said why they canceled it. Now listen to this. This is what the people in Egypt said against Travis Scott coming out there. They wanted to cancel and cut his shit down. Like, nah, fuck that. We did some research on him. We don't want LaFlame coming out here because what? Based on research and documented information about strange rituals at Travis's concerts that are inconsistent with our authentic societal values and traditions, the board of directors has decided to cancel the license issued to hold this type of concert that contradicts the cultural identity of the Egyptian people. Now, I'm not on nobody's side because I don't have no horse in this race. However, right? Fuck them niggas in Egypt. I'm not down with that bullshit one bit, right? Now, I don't give out licenses. So whoever gave Travis Scott the license to come tear down the pyramids, nigga, that's on you. That don't got nothing to do with me. And I don't stand in front of fucking planes and trains when they're moving and whatnot. So if he gonna do this shit, let him do it. Like I said, I wanted to be there. You know what I mean? Because I ain't no goofy ass nigga and I'm not no square and whatnot. I know how to pull up to something and extract the energy that I need to. I know how to turn the fuck up. He's a raver. Do you know what a rager is? He does rages. He's a rager. I watched his show in London at the Wireless Festival, and I watched his show at Rolling Loud. This nigga's not doing nothing demonic, first of all. He's a fucking rager. He's singing about fucking chicks, you know what I mean? Taking drugs, getting some box, chilling, jumping out of foreign cars, and it's lit straight up. I didn't hear no demonic shit. You feel me? I didn't hear no demonic shit. Just to be, just to, because niggas be real square and they be weird and whatnot, and they'll be, oh, he's a devil worshiper, and then when they get off of the internet, they turn it on Goosebumps. I remember being in a community and having a nigga tear down Jay-Z at the National Black Theater, and we got in his car with his family. This nigga put on Jay-Z and was rapping that shit word for word. I was like, nigga, are you serious? You just was up there talking crazy about this nigga. So I don't be putting too much faith in a lot of people, bro, because they be having selective fucking outrage and it don't be real. You know what I'm talking about? It's part of that schizophrenia shit that I was talking about earlier, where a nigga try to talk crazy about Travis Scott. Then the next minute, you start raging with him. You are fucking schizophrenic, bro. You know what I'm talking about? You tripolar. So at the end of the day, I'm not a Travis Scott fan like that. I don't even know his catalog and shit like that. But nigga, if I got to turn up, I'ma knock back some motherfucking some what's that shit? Don Julio and smoke some L's and get lit. And I'm gonna be right there in the middle of a mosh pit, elbowing and doing the motherfucking. I'm clotheslining white boys. I'm Jim Duggar. I'm a Boston Crab. These niggas. I'm gonna be in the mosh pit getting my reparations. How about that? Because they like to fight when Travis is performing. I'm gonna just go there to knock white boys out. You know what I'm saying? I hope I don't get world starred. You feel me? But imagine going to Kemet by the pyramids, you channeling your own type of energy. You on your own type. You ain't worrying about, but you know that you could channel all that energy like a battery. You got your shorties with you. They turned up. Because once you got some baddies with you, that's your force field. Let no fuck nigga enter. You know what I'm saying? No fuck nigga formed against me shall prosper. If you got the right shorties to build that auric field, y'all be in your own world and whatnot, having your own fun, be on 5 grams of shrooms and shit, and I promise you'll probably have a breakthrough in front of them pyramids with all of them people turning up. If you never seen a Travis Scott concert, I highly suggest you go and tap in. The shit where the people got killed in Texas, do I think that he killed them? I don't think so. You know, I'm still torn with that. You know, I'm still torn with that. You know, but I know that the Utopia album is gonna be crazy. I predicted that 2 years ago when the shit happened at the concert in Texas. And yeah, he will have a #1 album. Mark my word. And that concert, if it goes through, is gonna be stupid. It's gonna be stupid because one of the things that hip hop is lacking right now is stage show presence and performances. They all suck. You understand? That's the Achilles heel of the new generation, and that's the big Achilles heel for hip hop moving forward. That they can't sell concert tickets because these niggas don't know how to perform. They're not performers and whatnot. And the attitude of, I'm just here to get money and whatnot. I don't really like the craft is showing in their shows, and people don't. It's one thing to play some music in a club. It's another thing to get dressed up and to go out to a concert and the motherfucker on the stage is not giving you what you came for. That sucks. So all of these Rolling Loud rappers rapping over their tracks and whatnot, and they just standing there and they're not putting on a show. When this nigga comes out, when homie when he pulls up, it's a different story. You feel me? It's a different story. His stage show is dynamic. You understand? He's a rager. Okay? And he's not from what I know, he's not up there talking about no devil worshiper shit. He talk about nigga shit. Okay? I'm talking about nigga shit. So they try to cancel his thing and it didn't work. You know what I mean? Ticketmaster's behind him. You know, his money long. You know what I'm saying? He got some people behind him. So they said that he supports an Afrocentric movement that attributes the Egyptian civilization to Black Africans, right? So that's what they're taking the quote unquote. They're saying that, besides all of that other shit, what they're saying is that he's a part of the Black Americans that the Egyptian officials are taking a problem with, because you niggas have the audacity to say that your ancestors are for Kemet. That's the problem that they're having, right? It's a culture war. It's a culture war. Okay? So the culture war that's taking place in Egypt is the fact that these Arabs that are, of course, they're gonna fight tooth and nail before they get exposed as that shit not being theirs. They're the caretakers of a graveyard of our ancestors that we didn't go back and claim and whatnot, and we didn't make the rightful claim to it. So them niggas is basically jacking a tourist attraction, and they're like, yo, the Afrocentric niggas is getting in the fucking way of our bag. So they're raising problems about that, right? So they're trying to cancel the homie, all right, and to show even more examples of how these Egyptian dudes been bugging way before Travis Scott, right? They was bugging with Kevin Hart, right? They try to cancel Kevin Hart. Then they try to cancel Netflix because they had the audacity to show Cleopatra in her proper persona as a sister. The fuck? What did you want to see her as? So the pale Egyptians, they are in bed with Hollywood. They're in bed with the pale faces over here. They're in bed with the lie, right? Because remember, the rest of the world benefits. Just look at what's going on in Egypt as a microcosm to the macrocosm of what's going on around the world. Why they won't tell us who we are, why they won't agree to give back some of the shit that they took from us, because everybody is benefiting off of us being asleep. Okay, the Arabs, those Arabs and whatnot, those fucking goat herders in Egypt, they're benefiting off the fact that niggas in America are scared and sleep and won't go there and claim their shit, bro. Okay, so they're gonna push back against anything. That's gonna be the ultimate showdown. That's a culture war. It's a war that we got to win. These niggas saying that they going against Afrocentrism. Even though I'm not an Afrocentric, but I know what the fuck that means. They declared a war against our people. These are the same people that's putting our ancestors on display and getting money from them. You understand? You can't do that to nobody's people. That could cause a war. They prostituting the ancestors, the ancient ancestors, and the great ancestors at that. So they banned a whole team due to the museum's Afrocentric exhibition. A team of archaeologists from a Dutch museum has been banned from carrying out excavations in Egypt's rich Saqqara necropolis after the museum mounted an exhibition that drew condemnations from Egyptian authorities. After the opening, listen to this, of Kemet, Egypt in hip hop, jazz, soul, and funk, the National Museum of Antiquities in Leiden received an email from the head of foreign missions of the Egyptian Antiquity Services saying that the museum is falsifying history with its Afrocentric approach. Okay, so that's their new word, their Afrocentric approach. Okay, so briefly, let's go over these meanings of nihilistic crisis, right? I think, what's this man's name? I think his name is Dan Shapiro, right? I'm gonna have some videos from him that I'm gonna show during my lecture on Tuesday. He did a very great. I'll have the link to that video in the lecture as well, because he did an awesome video on nihilism. Awesome video. The ancestors sent that shit to me, and he broke it down. So he gets into different levels of the nihilistic crisis, right? And the meanings behind it. So childhood abandonment could be one of the triggers, right? The universal experience of childhood trauma, from mild emotional neglect to severe existential terror. The shortcomings of all parents, reinforced by societal structures and often unaddressed due to religious narratives, social paradigms, and intergenerational trauma. Resulting impact on individuals' sense of self-worth, security, and ability to form healthy relationships. Social abandonment, the emphasis on personal responsibility, individualism, and self-sufficiency, often at the expense of community and mutual support. Rugged individualism, the alienation and disconnection inherent in modern global societies, exacerbated by the cognitive limitations of our primate brains. The societal failure to adequately support each other and create nurturing, supportive communities. Cosmic abandonment, right? So keep in mind, he's explaining that this is a lot of this is what Western man, right? A lot of Western man is going through this. Western man, in a nutshell, right? As I'm breaking this down, think about the father as think about the mother and the father abandoning, the childhood abandonment, and then think about Iceman inheritance and what Francis Cress Welsing told us about the Europeans, right, being outcasted into the Caucasus Mountains and whatnot, right? They're about the abandonment, the social abandonment, the cosmic abandonment. The sun don't fuck with them, right? They don't know what planet they come from. They're still searching for a meaning. They're still searching for a beginning. They're searching for a home, ET, right? Cosmic abandonment, the shift towards secularism and scientific understanding, revealing an indifferent cosmos devoid of inherent meaning or purpose. The existential crisis this indifference precipitates, questioning the value and purpose of human life. The struggle to find individual meaning and purpose in an uncaring, impersonal world. If you watch the movie Soul with Jamie Foxx from Disney, that's what 23 was going through, right? The whole nihilism thing, the whole trying to find purpose and meaning. I promise you, when you strip down all of these movies, all of this stuff that they give you in Western culture and whatnot, from their their Westerns like the John Wayne and whatnot, Cowboys and Indians, all the way down to their gangster movies, all the way down to their anti-hero movies. American Psycho, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, right? All of these De Niro and Scorsese movies and these De Niro and Pacino characters and whatnot, they embody these characteristics. You know what I mean? And we're gonna show you more of that on Tuesday, because you get to see it, of course, in a slide form. You know what I mean? You'll get to see videos and moving pictures and whatnot. So today's female rappers are ushering in a new era of hip hop. And it's very much apparent to see that there's a huge movement of feminine energy in this 50th year of hip hop. You know what I mean? Moving us forward. I'm for it. You feel me? I'm here for it. I know what women did for hip hop in the 90s, and I know what they did for the culture in the 2000s and whatnot. And while it may not have been women in the front, like as the main artists, it was their melodies. You feel me? It was their harmonies. It was them on a hook. It was them. They had their fingerprints were on a lot of the classics, and they had something to do with everything that popped off. You feel me? So they are integral part. So it's only right that moving into the 50th year of hip hop, we have to set the stage and allow that expression to get on the main stage, because we need to see what's going to come from it. Okay, because we know we squeeze the juice out of what the men have to offer, to the point that I showed you that they're losing their power. Right, they're losing their power. They're losing their perception is waiting and whatnot. The grip is waiting and whatnot. They have a lot to keep up with. They got to catch bodies. They got to catch bodies. They got to be able to be the toughest nigga. They got to be tied to some type of murders and whatnot. They got to be tied. They got to be gang affiliated. For the female rappers, it's not really that hard if you have an image that is a sexualized one to necessarily keep up with it. You don't have to be outside with every man and whatnot. You don't have to. We don't have to have sex tapes on you. You just have to dress very provocative, right? Um, Show up every now and then. You know what I mean? And basically keep your music mad spicy and all of your appearances keeping in alignment with that message, and you good to go. Shit, that can't be that hard, right? You know what I'm talking about? You gotta dodge the stalkers and whatnot. The rap niggas, they gotta dodge the feds, they gotta dodge the robbers, they gotta dodge the ops, they gotta dodge the stalkers, they gotta dodge the police. They got to dodge the IRS. Like, niggas is really running from some shit. And the women have, I feel that they're entering into their soft life era in hip hop, where they don't have too much resistance, you know. But like I was saying before, as with everything that comes to the surface, you got to deal with every aspect of what's coming to the surface. You understand? So while Coi Leray calls for female rappers to unite for the ladies' night, right? To remake the 2023's that ladies' night. They want to make a number one hit for 2023. So she's like, "Yo, why don't we all come out and do this remix, right? Cardi, Lotto, Isis, uh, who's the other one? Doja Cat, Meg the Stallion. You know what I mean? She want to do a ladies' night. That would definitely go to number one. That would splash. That would go to number one. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, all of the aspects is coming. You know what I mean? And this is the hate you gave little infants, fucks everyone. It's nothing to be ashamed or startled by. Who is whatever. It's thug life. You know what I'm saying? Christian rock is because Blueface. You know what I mean? That's to me that Sexy Red, whoever her baby daddy is, she is the she's the residue of that. Her baby daddy locked up. You know what I mean? They the offshoots of some of that. Because they say that a good man, the same way that a good woman to tame a wild nigga, a wild beast, like Beauty and the Beast, right? It's gonna take a strong man to tame a woman who they call wild. You feel me? If that's what it is, you know. Tupac back. Tupac back. Told you niggas. Tupac back. Right? They gave him his star on Hollywood Walk of Fame the other day. But before they did that, they reintroduced Tupac in the minds and the hearts, right? The most important place for you to be at. You understand? The most important place that you would want to be in this world, I would say the safest place on this planet, is in the hearts and minds of melanated people. Fuck everything else. You don't have to exist nowhere else but in the hearts and the minds of melanated people, and you're basically good. So they reintroduced his saga and his story, reinvigorating his spirit in the hearts and the minds of the people, right? Because he is a master Messiah figure. Okay. He's a Blackamoor Messiah and he's a master Messiah. He's American God. You understand? He got a star and whatnot. He's an American God. Right? So his energy is here to the point where they open back up his murder case 27 years later, right? So this nigga been on Vlad TV bragging about killing fucking Tupac. Once again, Vlad strikes again, right? Another one of Vlad's guests tied to a murder of another man who the feds easily just got to scoop in because there's too much self-incriminating evidence on the internet, because we live in a day and time where gangsters are on the fucking internet talking like girls, chatty patties, bumping their gums and whatnot, gossiping. There's never been a time like this, right? So this nigga's been walking around, right, free of anything or anyone, and he already admitted to be in the car when Tupac got killed. His cousin Orlando killed him, and his cousin got killed later on. But he was in the car, and murder don't got no expiration date. There's no statute of limitation. So if you place yourself in the car, nigga, then you need to be charged with murder. So the spirit of Pac, right? The justice that he seeks for being gunned the fuck down at the height of his career, right? For a mistake that he made and a misstep that he made. Stepped out of line, you know what I'm saying, into somebody else's beef when they should have handled their own beef, and he paid for that with his life. A lesson that I hope the other rappers who pay attention to say that they love them, because if you love somebody, then you learn from their mistakes. I hope they learn. Based off of the rate of people dying in hip hop, I don't think too many people learned that, because they started that. Them niggas signed up to be in gangs when the opposite should have happened. But because he got killed by somebody that was in the gang and he wasn't gang, he got killed by gang. Biggie got killed by gang, right? So people around America, their loyalty switched and they went to gang, because you never was supposed to sign up for gang. Gang killed Nipsey and you niggas signed up to be gang. Gang killed Pop Smoke and it made more niggas become gang. Gang, I don't understand it, right? So that's when I say that the when the audience is fickle, right? That's when I say that the audience is fickle and they're not real, and they're followers, and they're the most disloyal specimens of bacteria on the planet, right? They're not loyal. Not at all. So once again, Vlad the culture vulture strikes, right, with this Keefy D, because all of that information comes from Vlad TV, right? So now Tyrese decides that he wants to call Vlad out. But once again, when it comes to this Hollywood shit with these black actors trying to conveniently be boycotting niggas one day because shit don't be working out for them. I mean, I'm just highlighting it, but it's a crock of shit. It's desperate when you know they don't really, you know, Tyrese, he's only saying that and echoing that because, you know, some shit Vlad was on his show dogging him out. He ain't doing that because he's supporting Lord Jamal. He ain't saying that because he's supporting the fucking boycott. He's supporting that because shit didn't go right for him. Right? So going back to what I was saying about the fact that all of this underworld shit is now surfacing, right? This clown right here, right? Because if we're gonna talk about Vlad, we got to talk about your boy Adam, right? And I'm still looking for the video and whatnot. There was about 6 months ago, I showed a video of Adam 22 being interviewed, and he was speaking about his infatuation that he has with the black man's phallus. Okay, and in that interview, he not only said that he was infatuated with watching BBC porn, but he likes to listen to gangster rap, and the whole thing about the homicides in gangster rap, he tied that in with the infatuation that he has, or this fetish that he has with black men. So the minute I saw him admit to that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is a weirdo right here. This dude represents, he's not just by himself. That's why he's so viral. And that's why he has such a following and whatnot. He represents the cucks. Vlad is a cuck, right? They are living like they get off on the dysfunction of the culture, right? They fetish the culture so much, or they fetish the black man for that matter, that everything that the black man is involved with, they become infatuated with it. You understand? That's why they're able to study us so much. That's why Nardawar and all of them, this is cuck society. You understand? They fetish to watch us do things with their women, because at some point it's one of those things. The fetishment has a lot to do with the inferior complex. The inferior complex has the fact that they don't have what you have. I said it before. You could go into a concert, right? Like a Travis Scott rave or something. Or you could go into one of these places, this majority mayonnaise, take your shirt off as an alpha male, of course. Don't try this at home, nigga, if you a beta zeta. Take your shirt off and walk through the fucking crowd, right? Not only will your pheromones begin to magically attract all of their Beckys and whatnot, but even the goddamn the Lestats to try to touch you, like they was on Aaliyah and Queen of the Dam. That type of fetishment, that type of infatuation, to the fact where they ate her. They fetished her to the point where they ate her. Right? Delectable Negro. You walk in a room and you take your shirt off and you cut up and whatnot. You don't even got it. You can have a Levert belly, nigga. You got melanin. You would begin to shame. The white boys would start putting shirts on. All you didn't try to show off. You didn't want to make nobody uncomfortable. You wasn't trying to do anything. You just walked in and took your shirt off, and you had this tan that looked like the sun kissed you and whatnot. And you reminded a group of recessive people that even with all of the Budweiser in the world, all of the real estate that they stole in the world, all of the stock portfolios that they have in the world, there's one thing that they don't have, that they can't buy, and that's carbon. You understand? And that element right there is a factor. It's the same factor that had Peter Parker walking with a fucking bop, and having Peter Parker walking looking like a goddamn dweeb and whatnot when he didn't have the Venom suit. Remember the Venom suit? That was the melanin. This fetishment that they have, this inferior complex that they have, it goes very deep. It is definitely been deep dived into by Dr. Francis Cress Wilson in the ISIS papers, right? It goes into inferior complexes, and it has a lot to do with the male phallus. You understand? So his infatuation with black men leads all the way to his infatuation with Black Death. His infatuation with Black Death leads him all the way into the fact that he's a successful podcast that interviews gangbangers and people who are, in the gangs, gangster rappers. He asks questions about, shit. Well, now it's a little hot on his channel and there's a lot of eyes on him. But he he cut his teeth, dealing with a lot of the underground, underworld artists, the nihilistic ones like XXX Tentacion, the outcast rappers, the skater rappers, the SoundCloud rappers, you know what I mean? The ones who were into nihilism. He's a porn star. Okay, he's a porn star. He's not a wannabe porn star. He's not a porn star sometimes, or I'm an amateur porn star. No, he's a real porn star. Okay, and he's married to a white girl who was also a porn star. right? And they have a OnlyFans, and the girl is she's a porn star who became famous for being with other white girls. So he let his wife, after they got married, basically he gave her a one night pass, or he gave her the opportunity to create some OnlyFans content, and she said she wanted to bring a man into the content, and a black man at that. And that black man is his brother right here, right? So the brother is basically on he's on tour right now because he's famous. You understand? They made him famous overnight. You understand? They made him famous overnight. He went from basically a nobody to somebody because Adam 22 let the man bang his wife as a cuck while he filmed it. You understand? White boy shit, right? Just right there shows me that we are not the same, can never be the same, and have never been the same. That right there is the line in the sand. It shows black men, because black men need to remember, you black women, you get your reckoning and your real, you get your reasoning, and you get your moment of reasoning and your moment of reckoning when you see Karen jump out of Becky. You know what I mean? We all, we all get our times. But for black men that are running around and you don't understand the psychology of the American psychos amongst you, who you call your Mike Rubins and your Vlad homeboys and your Adam 22s, the guys that always pick up the check for you. You know what I mean? The guys that'll let you knock their girl off. They'll let their Becky give you some Becky and whatnot. Those white guys that are so giving and whatnot. Yeah, there's a homoerotic relationship and a fetishment that they have for you, brother. Okay? That's why the bromance is so tight with them. So just to show how much of a clown this dude is, I mean, I really want y'all to know that this man, I called him out a long time ago. He's a vulture. He's a culture vulture, but he is it goes deeper than that. This is psychological shit, but this nigga's a super cornball. Listen to this. This is almost like soap operas, but once again, this is the culture. This man has a grip. When I say a grip, he has a fucking grip on hip hop culture, especially youth culture. All right. He's the one who pushes a lot of these garbage ass artists and co-signs them for these children. Hold on.
Guess we're doing this today. Hey, Jason Love, I trusted you to pork my wife. It seems like that cloud is getting to your head. You're talking real spicy, and I ain't really feeling it. Number one, the angle of the dangle is more important than the cubic of the pubic. That's number one. Number two, my D game, when I'm serving it, man, it's just like your mom's home cooking, because there's a special ingredient. It's called love. You ever heard of it? Number three, don't make me expose you. And you know what I'm talking about. You get real messy out here. Number four, you don't want problems moving around in these LA streets, because I can make that happen. I'm very well connected. And number five, you are officially blacklisted for smashing my wife again. Show some respect.
Pure clown shit.
That's kind of probably what you said to Lena.
Yes, pretty much.
Did she kind of resist you at first, or was she?
She was
like, was she running from the?
Well, obviously, yeah, she hadn't had that size in, I'm pretty sure, a long time. So, yeah.
So once again, they're normalizing a culture that's considered to be a subculture. This time next year, the normalization of pornography or porn culture will be in full swing, right? As you see, I'm just giving you the seeds that are being planted. I'm showing you how this shit works. I'm showing you how this matrix is programmed. I'm giving you an inside look to how social engineering works through pop culture. Because somebody said, whose culture? I'm saying pop culture. All right. I'm saying pop culture, and pop culture is like popcorn. Everything under it will become affected in a sense. You know what I'm saying? It's pop culture. You know what I mean? You don't have to listen to Adam 22 or know anything about him. No problem. But that's part. I'm giving you insight into pop culture. You feel me? So a heat wave named Cerberus has Southern Europe in its jaws and is only going to get worse. So after we did the show on Monday, article after article after article began to pop up just to show you how this heat wave has a mythical connotation to it, right? Even though they're giving these articles like, yeah, we're just naming it after mythological creatures, just haphazardly. And we know that that's a crock of shit. We know that everything is done for a reason. Okay. So look at this heat storm, right? Once again, everywhere that I see red, damn near, is where the Moors was at. Is that a coincidence? Like, look at Algeria, look at Spain, look at France, look at Italy. This looks like a heat map of the Umayyad dynasty and whatnot. This looks like a heat map of the caliphates when they was running shit. That's what that looks like. Everywhere where that heat is at is all Moorish strongholds. Is that a coincidence? You know? So the worst heat wave era was in 1743. It reached 44.4 Celsius. You know what I mean? So there's a heat dome over America, like a dome. Like they say we live in the dome and whatnot. Imagine them heating up the dome, right? All of those quote unquote solar flares, the sun activity, the shit is exploding and going off and whatnot. And they claiming climate change, but they not talking about what's coming down from the skies. Now, our good brother Al Kebalon 44, Blue Pillar 44, KT the Arch Degree, right? And a few other of our scholars have done some very, very thorough research on sun activity. And I highly suggest that you tap in with them so you could get that research. Blue is going to bring it to the lecture on Tuesday, but the sun is going crazy. Corona rising for real, for real. You feel me? The heat wave scorching the U.S. is a self-perpetuating monster. Listen to the language that they're using and whatnot, okay? They're showing you that this is just more than just a regular old heat wave where it's just suddenly hot and it has something to do with climate change. Hell no. They named this shit Cerebrus. You understand? They named this shit about the motherfucking the monster, right? The monster Cerebrus is from 8th century BC, and he was known to the ancient Greeks and then to the Romans. He's the hound of Hades, and his job was to ensure that no one escaped the realm of the dead, right? So the first storm that they named was called Cerebrus, and he was named after the three-headed dog that guarded the gates of hell. But then the next storm that hit Europe, right? They gave it the name of Quran, right? I might be pronouncing the name of it wrong, right? But that's the name of the deity that brought the spirits to hell. So one of the storms, the first heat wave, is the three-headed dog that's guarding the gates of hell. And then the other one, the storm that they talking about, is the shit that brings the spirits to hell. And then you got 61,000 deaths. You got deaths all across Europe and whatnot. They had people just dropping dead. Right? So it's in Spain, it's in Portugal, it's in Southern Europe. They got droughts all up in Germany, Ireland, the UK, Scandinavia. And in America, you got tornadoes ripping through North Carolina. They had some shit that ripped through and destroyed the Pfizer building. Did you see that? We knocking on 44-day heat wave. We knocking on a 44-day heat wave that could last into August after smashing 2,000 plus records. This is not an anomaly. This is not some regular shit, y'all. We are in a very fucking interesting time. A 39-day heat wave. They could go into August, nigga. You in a red summer for real. Where's my sound effects? You are in a red summer for real. It smashed 2,000 records already. More than 2,000 heat records have fallen from Florida to California. So yeah, man. This is a red summer. You know. Stay hydrated. You definitely want to stay hydrated. You definitely want to stay hydrated. You feel me? You definitely want to be light. You don't want to be knocking down Impossible Burgers and shit like that. Impossible Chitlins and you feel me? All of that heavy shit. You don't want to be doing that. You want to go with the Yaki diet, nigga. You want to go heavy on the fruits. You feel me? And you want to load up on that water. And you want to take it there like that. So let's go to a commercial real quick. All right. Here is the good news that I want to share with y'all. The good news is that the good brother Chicago Crypto Block Bully and Ra Aku will be coming back for another 4 weeks on the Patreon. All right. Ra Aku will be coming back next Wednesday, and our good brother Chicago will be coming back this Sunday. So make sure that y'all tap in. All right. Let me go to this commercial real quick. Join us every Sunday, 4:44 p.m. Eastern, only on Patreon, as we welcome Chicago Crypto Block Bully Technical Analysis.
Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here. Welcome back to the channel for another update on Bitcoin. So
understanding technical analysis can mean the difference between buying here and buying here. And that's why I've decided to create price action, the movement of an asset or security's price over time plotted on a chart. All-time high, ATH, the highest an asset has ever been in price. Support, a point in the market where the price is less likely to drop below due to previous demand or price action. Resistance, a point in the market where
You will learn behavioral economics. You will study historical market data. You will be able to identify trading opportunities. You will be able to evaluate any investment and many, many more. Please join us on Red Pillar's Patreon. Peace. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Make sure y'all sign up to the Patreon. Make sure y'all sign up to the Patreon. Listen, like I was saying, we have an after show right after this. We have an after show right after this. All right. The good brother Source Guard, Uplifting Hill. We're going to be reviewing the Nas album. The brother, he's going to be reviewing Nas album. Special guest Blue Pill in the building. Special guest Blue Pill in the building. I'm going to start this up as soon as I get off of it. I'm going to start it up. We'll end this show and then we'll start a new one for that one. So I want y'all to definitely come back and whatnot. All right. Give it about 5 minutes. Then we're going to start it back up so we can review this album. But thank you everybody for your time tonight. Make sure y'all get tickets for Tuesday's lecture. If you in Atlanta, like I said, we got an event tomorrow. Pull up to that. All right. That's going to be right there in South Fulton. 2945 Burdette Road. There's going to be performances. There's going to be food. There's going to be a whole vibe. The tribe is going to be in the building. Come and meet the tribe and whatnot. You feel me? Friday night, tomorrow, mañana, July the 21st. All right, pull up. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to take y'all out with Red Opal. Make sure y'all stream that on the streaming networks. Check that out. Love and light to the family. Peace.
Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yeah, up in the jungle, coking the bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tore the underworld, popping the minter. Land of the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still manage like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up it and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck a Febreze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Waving for force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm, it's Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning, flooded the bright lean. The hunger was biting, biting.
One more time. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all join us for the after party. Let's go.
Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yeah, up in the jungle, coking the bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tore the underworld, popping the minter. Land of the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still manage like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up it and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck a Febreze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Waving for force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm, it's Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning, flooded the bright lean. The hunger was biting, biting.